What are y'all taking me in for? What did I do?
Operating a vehicle while under the influence of alcohol or drugs or other controlled substances.
No.
A belligerently intoxicated woman is arrested in Ohio after crashing a vehicle while transporting a patient with special needs.
Kelly, I'm gonna have you step out with me, okay? We gotta go. I know. I gotta get you out of here though, okay?
I know you're not gonna do that.
Yeah. Kelly, we're not laying back down.
All this before she blatantly...
Kelly Barton, then 48 years old, was put in a dangerous position by a series of strange happenings. She was on the clock and transporting a patient with special needs when the accident occurred. Kelly slammed into a lamppost while driving. Kelly's untidy and shaky appearance was immediately noticeable to the responding police officers.
I don't know what this is.
She shredded the back of that. She's
in the back of my car.
Well, she popped both tires, so I'm afraid she hit something in Blue Ash. So,
yep. I guess it's going to be by the roundabout.
That's what I think too. Well, you're saying she came Glendale Milford? Yeah, be up. Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's what she told me. The driver is in her car. Okay. So I came to an empty vehicle. All right. The owner of this facility or whatever it is, they transport special needs people.
32, squad dispatch 106.
This driver, she is
for 93-year-old female semi-conscious.
Kelly initially disputed responsibility for the collision, but it was later discovered that alcohol was a contributing factor. She denied that she had ever driven under the influence, despite the fact that she was employed as a caregiver. However, video surveillance from a neighboring gas station positively identified her as the driver. As a result, she was accused of driving under the influence while transporting the sick patient, and she also faced charges of ignoring her duty.
Your driver is someone that stays at a shelter?
Huh?
Your driver is somebody who stays at a shelter?
My coworker. She's a coworker.
Okay.
But I'm the driver. That's my car. She in the back seat.
No. I'm talking about this one.
This one, yeah, she stays in the shelter. She just got the job. Yeah, she just got.
We're trying to figure out a way. If we got to get her home, we got to figure out
I'll get her. I'll
safe
take her.
place to.
Yeah, she's at the shelter. I know.
So here's the situation. It's a unique one.
Parkway 31, okay.
This car belongs to a special needs driver service. They drive special needs people around to and from places. The driver is heavily intoxicated. We're going to go see what she hit in Blue Ash, but the gentleman that was being driven said she hit a pole. The car's on only one wheel. When I got here, the car is turned off, and this driver is sitting in the passenger seat of a coworker's car that came to pick up the special needs person. So, can we even go the OGI route? Nobody saw her driving. Lady picked her up, said my boss told me to come down here, and...
Kelly's behavior took a sudden and unwelcome turn as paramedics arrived to examine her. She started making sexual statements about the responding officers that shocked everyone. Multiple tests conducted by the police confirmed that Kelly's blood alcohol content was far higher than the permissible level.
Yeah, let's go ahead and just get this roll squad. Hey, Kelly.
Yes, sir.
Can I have you step out here with me real quick? I'll help you out. I know. Here we go. Give me your hand, and I'm going to help you out.
Trying.
I know you're trying, but I need you to work with me, okay? So this nice lady can give you a ride home, okay? So go ahead and step out for me, all right?
Officers worked for several minutes to convince Barton to step out of the vehicle.
Kelly, I know you're tired. Here, hold my hand, and I'm going to get you out, okay? So I need you to come out with me, all right? Because we're going to work together, okay?
Listen to my partner, please.
Yeah, come on, Kelly. Please. I'm gonna get you these shoes, all right?
Kelly, go ahead.
Kelly, knowing that her arrest was likely, persisted in her bold behavior, fighting off the cops as they tried to place her in the police car. At the end of the day, she was arrested for drunk driving. Kelly's arrest antics left a confusing tale in her trail, and if anyone thought she was brazen before, they were shocked by what they saw. Here, 18-year-old Skylar Floss gained notoriety after releasing a video in which she claimed to have fooled a police officer during a DUI stop.
I got out of a DUI and got let off with a warning.
She bragged that she had avoided a DUI charge by using her wit and charm, and that the police officer had even asked her out. A different picture emerged, however, after Deputy Stallman of the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office revealed body cam footage.
I blew a 3.8 and he let me off with a f***ing warning. and gave me his number and said we should meet for coffee or lunch. He was hot, so I'm getting lunch with him tomorrow.
Skylar was pulled over by Deputy Stallman for weaving on the road, and Stallman voiced his fear that Skylar might be impaired by alcohol. He asked how she was doing and gave her a card with the department's information on it, rather than his personal number.
I'm in the Jarvis County Sheriff's Office. I pulled you over because you were weaving a little bit back there. Where are you coming from?
I was coming from my friend's house. I actually just got dumped.
Okay.
So I was like crying and like I'm really upset.
Okay. Were you on your phone and stuff too?
I was trying to call because I pulled it because my heart.
Okay. Well, I'm just concerned that you were weaving because of alcohol, but if you're on your phone, have you been drinking or anything tonight? No? Okay.
Despite her protest, the officer acted professionally by issuing simply a warning for her own protection. Skylar's video not only showed her bragging about taking advantage of the cops' good nature, but also showed her making up a story about how she blew an astounding 3.8 on a breathalyzer, which could have killed her. As a matter of fact, she was never put through any sort of examination. Skylar's irresponsible behavior at a party before the event was revealed by new evidence.
Sounds like you're having a rough night, so I'm not going to add to that by writing you a ticket or anything, okay? So I'm just going to give you a warning. It's not a big deal. I just want to make sure you're okay. You were weaving a little bit, and I just want to make sure you're okay to operate the motor vehicle, and I believe you are. So my information's right here on the front. The reason I stopped you here is on the back. Wherever you're headed, get there safely, and I'm sorry you're having a bad night.
Yeah, I'm just really
Okay.
sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, well, no, you don't need to apologize. I mean, you were weaving a little bit with no traffic out. I just want to make sure you're okay, that's all.
Skylar eventually confirmed her irresponsible behavior and her fabrication of stories for online attention. Neither she nor Deputy Stallman, who had behaved professionally throughout the incident, faced any legal consequences. The incident acted as a warning against making baseless charges and highlighted the significance of acting responsibly while behind the wheel. Lydia Badillo found herself in a precarious circumstance that differentiated her from the other people. During her effort to sneak 2 undocumented immigrants across the Mexican border, she was caught by Border Patrol agents.
Fine, you're fine. Just come over here to this side. Do you have anything right here?
Oh no, you want
No?
me to open it?
Yeah. Right. Okay.
They're my friends.
Okay, and who are these?
Most of my friends.
Okay.
Carmen y Joana.
Okay. Okay. Are these legit? Because they look fake.
I'm guessing, but I met them at Club Fuego.
What-
We're going to Agave. We're gonna go
Okay.
have some drinks.
How long have you met this?
Yeah, tengo como 4 from we met them at Club Fuego.
Oh, okay. All right. Just wait for me right here, okay? You don't
I'm
have
looking
anything.
at your sorry, sir.
What?
I'm looking at your eyes.
Why?
'Cause you look pretty handsome.
Oh.
Hey, man, I need to call the cops. Can I just please? I have an autism kid in my house.
Okay.
Please,
Let's do it.
please.
Yes.
Please.
Lydia resorted to an ill-conceived approach when her illegal business started to fall apart. She sought to seduce Officer Francis by asking him to wait while she lavished him with praises. This was a mistake on her part. Officer Francis, on the other hand, was not readily persuaded. He began to have doubts about the fake identification cards that Lydia had handed him.
I had 2 investigators
Oh,
today
Okay.
earlier.
Okay.
Can
Do
I
it, ma'am.
In my
What?
car.
Ma'am.
I just want to.
Estos documentos por un montón de tiempo.
Por un año.
Por un año.
Sí.
Ok. Pues son falsos, ok. Y tener documentos en estados de Texas es un delito. Las ID, a esta te sale a un señor, la tuya. A esta no me sale nada. Ok, so estas identificaciones son falsas. Ok.
After conducting further research, he discovered that both of the IDs were forged, exposing Lydia's deceptive plan. The 2 women who were traveling with her were revealed to be undocumented immigrants hailing from El Salvador who were caught up in a murky human trafficking operation. These victims were held captive in debt bondages, where they were compelled to perform forced labor and subjected to sexual exploitation in order to repay their traffickers.
Ahora, yo lo que le quiero dar a entender a ustedes de que, so it's clear what's going on now. But we already passed that. You had 2 undocumented people in the vehicle. We're past that.
Y ahora
Ma'am,
ya es mi culpa.
Ma'am.
Culpa de eso.
okay? You're under arrest for human smuggling.
No, sir.
Turn around.
Please.
Turn around. Okay.
Todo por yo manejar.
Turn around. Separate your arms.
Lydia was taken into custody without delay, while the 2 Salvadorian ladies were deported back to their native country, potentially saving them from years of unspeakable torment. The ill-advised attempt that Lydia made to charm her way out of trouble failed tragically, as Officer Francis stayed unwavering in his commitment to God dang it, fuck. The ill-advised attempt that Lydia made to charm her way out of trouble failed tragically, as Officer Francis stayed unwavering in his commitment to enforcing the law and protecting people who are susceptible to being exploited.
Balance?
I do have an autoimmune disease called Behçet syndrome.
Okay.
Yes.
Behçet syndrome?
Behçet syndrome. The last time I was diagnosed, I was about the third person in New Mexico to have it.
Okay.
It's very similar to lupus.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have you try these tests as best you can, and we'll go from there, okay?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel comfortable walking in those shoes?
Yep.
Does your autoimmune disease or whatever it is, does it affect your ability to walk and balance?
At times I do get lesions inside of my intestines. I did go to the doctor last week for a lesion that I had.
Okay, and did they give you something for it? Do you think it's better? They haven't done anything?
The unexpected meeting between Brooke Teague and a police officer took a fascinating turn that worked out well for her. She was initially stopped because of her irregular driving, which raised concerns about possible intoxication or a need for assistance. When Officer Smith pulled Brooke over, she greeted him cheerfully.
Just your eyes, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Try to hold your head still, please. Keep watching it. I need you to look at it.
1, 2, 3. My balance is very bad. 4, 5, 6. Good. 7, 8, 9. After E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q.
Okay, do you know your numbers?
Yes, sir.
Can you count backwards for me? Start at 47 and end at 32, please.
47 to 32?
Yes.
47, 46, 45, 40.
Okay, just do a 47 and start me at 46.
The breast test is by willingness.
Okay. Go ahead and turn around for me. I'll read you the implied consent, and you can decide for yourself. You're not going to...
Brooke claimed multiple times that she had only had one beer and that she had just gotten off the phone with her baby's father, Zachary. Brooke had obviously had more than one drink, but her relationship with the police officer only improved as time went on.
Go to your left. You are under arrest for driving under the influence of an intoxicating liquor or drug. The New Mexico Implied Consent Act requires you to submit to a breath test to determine the alcohol content of your blood. After you take our test, you have the right to choose an additional independent test. If you choose to take this additional independent test, you have the right to a reasonable opportunity to arrange for a physician, a licensed nurse or a laboratory technician or technologist who is employed by a hospital or physician of your own choice to perform an additional chemical test. The cost of this additional test will be paid for by the law enforcement agency, the Albuquerque Police Department. Do you agree to take our test? It will be a breath test. Constant breath. Blow constantly, hard and constantly till the machine stops making noise. Go ahead. Blow, 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 blow. Try it again. Now, the legal limit in the state of New Mexico is 0.08. Your first breath score was a 0.16, and your second was a 0.16. You're over 2 times. You're at 2 times the legal limit. It's a little bit more than one shot. Okay. 0.08 is the 0.08 is the legal limit. You are going to be transported out to MDC where you'll be booked for DWI. You're also going to be booked for failed to maintain a traffic lane, failed to obey a traffic control device, and for not having your proof.
Brooke failed the sobriety test administered by Officer Smith, resulting in her arrest for DUI despite her laughter and smiles during the test. The officer remained serious throughout their conversation.
We have insurance in the vehicle. Do you have any questions for me?
Do I have to make a phone call?
You'll be able to make a phone call once you get processed, booked, photographed, fingerprinted. Okay, turn around for me. Hands back behind your back. How long?
About like a year or 2 ago.
No, how long did you fight though?
Oh, I fought for 11.
Did you ever have your nose broken?
Yes.
11 years.
And I'll put me into myself from bullying.
You want to talk to your mom? Do you want to tell her you got arrested? Yes. Okay. From boxing to bikini, huh? It's a good transition. I think you did the similar, didn't you? Yeah. I'm recording too, by the way.
A blood alcohol test administered to Brooke at the police station showed that her blood alcohol content was 0.4%, over twice the legal limit. Her license was suspended temporarily, and she had to spend the night in jail to become sober. The incident demonstrated how arrests can be conducted with dignity and respect for all those involved. This lovely meeting could have resulted in something else in another setting, but that night, fate had other intentions. On July 20th, 2022, an auditor from the Clear Lake Community Watch, who will be referred to as Mr. Clear Lake, was driving past Deputy C. Vega of the Harris County Sheriff's Office as the deputy was conducting a traffic stop in Seabrook, Texas. Mr. Clear Lake rolled down his window and yelled an anti-police sentiment, including profanity at Deputy Vega as he drove by. In response to this incident, Deputy Vega abandoned the ongoing traffic stop, got back onto his vehicle, made a U-turn, and began to follow Mr. Clear Lake. Mr. Clear Lake, acting responsibly, properly signaled and made a right turn, prompting Deputy Vega to activate his lights in an attempt to pull him over. In compliance with the signal, Mr. Clear Lake immediately pulled into a nearby gas station and brought his vehicle to a stop.
Why do you pull me over?
I'll tell you that if you roll it down.
Why can't you tell me now?
Because the reason I pulled you over is you were yelling something from your car.
So what?
Huh?
So what? That's why you pull me over, because I'm yelling?
I don't know if you're in need of help or anything.
Oh, I don't need help.
So,
thank you.
Okay, let me see your driver's license real quick.
I don't need help.
Deputy Vega asserted that he stopped Mr. Clear Lake's vehicle due to Mr. Clear Lake's yelling from the window. Nevertheless, Deputy Vega clarified that his primary concern was for Mr. Clear Lake's well-being, rather than taking offense at the content of his speech. It's worth noting that the First Amendment prohibits government officials from engaging in retaliatory measures against individuals for their protected expression. In this situation, it is undeniably evident that Mr. Clear Lake was involved in protected activity, as protected by the Supreme Court's long-standing recognition of profanity as protected speech under the First Amendment. Deputy Vega himself acknowledged that he initiated the traffic stop because of Mr. Clear Lake's yelling from the window. However, it remains uncertain whether a court would conclude that undergoing a traffic stop resulting in a warning without any citation or arrest would be considered an injury that could deter an individual of ordinary resilience from continuing to engage in the same expressive activity. In the 2012 case of Simmons v. City of Mahmoud, it was stated that not all instances of police detention would deter an individual of ordinary resilience from exercising their protected rights.
You can just crack your window if that's what you want to do.
It's already cracked.
I can't see that.
Well,
This thing.
it doesn't matter. Here. I don't wish to answer questions.
You have to let me know if there's a weapon in the car. Do you not take the class?
I did.
Did they tell you you have to tell them?
When you demand identification, I have to display this. That's what they told me in the class. That's what the law says.
The officer wants to take the weapon.
And actually, if I don't display, there's really not much you can do because there is no penalty attached to that. I have to carry this if I'm carrying this.
Are you carrying?
I don't answer questions.
Okay, so if you have a weapon in the car, then what?
Consequently, there exists the possibility that a court might find Mr. Clear Lake unable to pursue a First Amendment retaliation claim, despite Deputy Vega's evident retaliatory intent when initiating the traffic stop. However, the likelihood is much higher that Mr. Clear Lake could succeed in a claim asserting Deputy Vega's violation of his Fourth Amendment rights by initiating the traffic stop without reasonable suspicion or probable cause. Mr. Clear Lake, who had a holstered firearm on his right hip, presented both his driver's license and his license to carry as requested by Deputy Vega. However, when asked by Deputy Vega about the presence of a handgun in the car, Mr. Clear Lake declined to answer. As per Section 46.02 of the Texas Penal Code, it is considered an offense if a person intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly carries a handgun in a motor vehicle in plain view, except if the person is 21 years of age or older or possesses a valid handgun carry license and the handgun is properly holstered.
What is your name? Your name? Sheriff, that's your name? Sheriff?
Right above it, right there.
I'm not familiar with the English alphabet, sir.
Be on the ticket.
Okay, can I have an incident number, please? Oh, a ticket, okay.
When Deputy Vega asked for identification, Mr. Clear Lake adhered to the statute's requirements, and it was not necessary for him to respond to any further inquiries from Deputy Vega concerning the potential presence of a handgun in the vehicle. Policy 302 of the Harris County Sheriff's Department Handbook establishes guidelines for what is considered professional conduct among deputies and other HCSO employees. This policy imposes an obligation on them to provide official identification when required. Upon Deputy Vega's notification that the traffic stop had concluded, he directed Mr. Clearlake to remain inside his vehicle. Although Mr. Clearlake opened the door, he showed no signs of attempting to exit. As a response to this action, Deputy Vega drew his weapon.
Did I exit the vehicle? Did I exit the vehicle?
Give you a heads up.
Did I exit the vehicle? Hey, can I? You do have a dash cam, right? Very good. You can't just pull me over because I said the police. I hope you realize that, stupid. I'm sorry?
Do you have insurance on the vehicle?
Yeah.
Can you show it to me, please? It doesn't come back.
Of course it comes back.
Not on my system, it doesn't. Also, it's not typical behavior.
According to the policy, deputies can ready their weapons when approaching potentially dangerous situations, but displaying or pointing firearms in a threatening manner is only permitted when objectively reasonable. Deputy Vega's actions removing the firearm when Mr. Clearlake opened the vehicle door might be justified due to potential concerns.
Did you read my address on the driver license?
It didn't have an apartment number on your driver's
Of course it does.
Let me see. Can you verify?
You've already seen it. I've already complied with that part.
I know. Okay, I'll be right back. Yeah, I say that I've never met anybody quite like you that would yell at an officer doing their job, but
so
you have a great
let
day.
me
There's
understand.
No fines, no penalties.
May I ask you a question?
Questions on there? There's the address.
Yeah, no, I have a question. Can you get your supervisor here, please? Is the stop over?
The stop is over. You may leave.
All right.
Please don't exit until I get out. Until I leave.
Well, you said the stop is over, right?
There is no indication that Mr. Clearlake had received any materials from the public records request. Additionally, he has expressed his intention to file a complaint and a lawsuit.
For what? Failed to signal with turn indicator within 100 feet. Drew the weapon on me. He drew the gun.
In conclusion, Deputy Vega's actions are heavily criticized, earning him an F grade for retaliating against Mr. Clearlake, who is exercising his First Amendment rights. The initiation of a traffic stop without reasonable suspicion and unnecessary brandishing of his firearm are the specific reasons for this criticism. Now, moving to the next one. On February 8, 2023, a fire broke out in the quadplex apartment of college student Taylor Brown, situated in Normal, Illinois. Following the incident, both fire officials and police officers from the Normal Police Department arrived at the scene. At the request of the officers, Ms. Brown agreed to be taken to Normal Police Station for questioning. However, after waiting for more than 40 minutes without being interviewed, Ms. Brown asked to be taken back home. The subsequent interaction between Ms. Brown and the officers was recorded by an unknown officer's body camera.
Who are you on your phone with? So we're going to have to seize your phone, so go ahead and hang up.
Seize my phone for what?
Go ahead and hang up.
Why?
Go ahead and hang up.
They want to seize my phone, but I'm not under arrest for it.
You're not under arrest, but your phone's going to be seized.
No.
You're going to hang up the phone.
I seize my phone, but I'm not in custody.
So listen.
There's three of them all around me.
So listen.
FaceTime me for a second.
You listen for a second. So the fire is going to be under investigation.
That's fine.
Okay, and we're going to seize your phone.
Why?
Because the fire is under investigation.
I need to know what my
So you can hand me the phone, or I can take the phone.
But I need to know what my phone's being. They're not telling me a reason why my phone's being
I just did.
But you said it's under investigation, which I
So listen to me. The fire.
That's her phone?
So the fire is going to be under investigation, and your phone's going to be seized.
The officers informed Ms. Brown that her phone was being seized due to the ongoing investigation of the fire in her apartment. Typically, in compliance with the Fourth Amendment's protection against unreasonable seizures, the government is required to obtain a warrant based on probable cause before legally seizing an individual's personal property, including their cell phone. In this particular situation, it remains unclear what evidence the officers had, if any, to suggest that Ms. Brown's phone contained pertinent information regarding the fire. However, according to a lawsuit filed by Ms. Brown regarding this incident, the officers attempted to secure a search warrant for her phone after its seizure, but the warrant was not approved by the state's attorney.
Hang up the phone and they're going to take the phone, because at this point I'm being threatened.
It's not a threat. I've asked you several times, and you're just going to go back and forth with me.
A reason as to why my phone is being taken.
So the fire is going to be under investigation by the fire department. So stop. Don't interrupt me. So don't interrupt me. The fire is going to be under investigation.
Don't ever tell me not to interrupt you, and I've been this calm.
So the phone's going to be seized. So in a second, I'm going to take it.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you a reason. I'm not being rebuttal. I'm asking you a reason.
So if you would like to talk to the detective, you can. Do you wish to talk to him?
Yeah, but
do you want to give an interview?
No, I wanted to ask him why my phone's being seized, because she said she could take me home, but without my phone. That doesn't make sense.
After law enforcement officers have lawfully obtained a cell phone, the concern of the arrestee potentially deleting incriminating data from the phone is eliminated. However, it is crucial to note that even under these circumstances, the officers are still not permitted to search the contents of the phone without obtaining a warrant, unless a court has explicitly authorized such a search. The officers made an effort to seize Miss Brown's phone, and when she resisted by pulling away, they responded by forcing her to the ground in an attempt to take the phone from her possession. Using physical force against an individual who poses no verbal or physical threat in an attempt to seize property that is lawfully in their possession would constitute a violation of their constitutional rights. However, if the individual is found to be resisting, officers may be allowed to use reasonable force based on specific circumstances. At the time of the officer's attempt to seize Miss Brown's phone, she was not under arrest, so any potential charges would likely fall under the obstruction subsection.
This, are you going to talk to the detective?
As a matter of fact, are you recording this?
Are you going to talk to the detective and provide an interview? Yes or no?
Is that with or without the phone?
Without the phone. The phone's being seized. Are you talking to the detective or no? I don't know. That's not my question.
I need an answer to that before.
So the question is, are you going to provide an interview?
No.
No? Okay. Go ahead and hand me the phone.
I have to know if my phone is
being
seized.
Go ahead and hand me the phone. Do not kick. Okay, push your legs out. Stop. Relax. Relax.
Mom, I'm not letting go. I promise.
Relax.
Mom, I'm not letting
Relax.
go.
We just want your phone. That's it.
We just want your phone.
They're trying to give me no protection.
Assuming that the officers lack the reasonable suspicion required to seize Miss Brown's cell phone without a warrant, it's also probable that a court would conclude she could not be convicted of resisting an unauthorized act by a police officer. Once Miss Brown was placed in handcuffs and helped to stand up, the officers informed her that they would be charging her with resisting an aggravated battery of a police officer. The Appellate Court of Illinois utilized a similar statute that allowed the use of force to prevent unlawful entries into one's dwelling, resulting in the defendant's battery conviction being overturned. The court found that the defendant's actions were based on a reasonable belief that her conduct was necessary to terminate the officer's unlawful entry into her dwelling, and her limited use of force was deemed justified. Applying a similar logic in Miss Brown's case, where she may argue that she used force to protect her personal property, it's conceivable that she could potentially be acquitted of any battery charges brought against her. After her arrest, Miss Brown was taken to McLean County Jail and was subsequently released at approximately 1 p.m. the following day. Interestingly, she was not charged with resisting, battery, or any other offense related to the altercation at the police station or the fire incident at her apartment. The officers returned Miss Brown's phone to her around 3:30 p.m., several hours after her release on February 23, 2023. In response to the incident, Miss Brown filed a federal lawsuit against the unidentified normal officers involved, alleging false arrest, excessive force, failure to intervene, and battery. As of now, the lawsuit's still awaiting resolution. In summary, the normal Illinois officers received a failing grade, as it is highly probable that they seized Miss Brown's phone without the necessary probable cause and also used unnecessary force when she refused to allow them to take her phone without a warrant. Additionally, the arrest of Miss Brown resulted in charges that were eventually found to be baseless. Now let's move to the next and last case of today's video. On February 9, 2023, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine conducted a press conference at an elementary school in East Palestine, Ohio, to provide updates regarding the derailment of a train carrying toxic chemicals. During this time, News Nation correspondent Evan Lambert was in the back of the gymnasium, filming a pre-scheduled live update while Governor DeWine was speaking at the front. Two members of the Ohio State Highway Patrol and the Ohio National Guard's Major General John Harris Jr. approached Mr. Lambert and requested him to halt the broadcast, citing his alleged loudness. The ensuing interaction was captured by the body camera of one of the Highway Patrol troopers, although there is no available audio recording. Despite the absence of sound recording during the initial part of the interaction, the footage reveals an argument between Mr. Lambert and Major General Harris. Subsequently, Major General Harris is seen pushing Mr. Lambert. Following the incident, Mr. Lambert alleges that Major General Harris assaulted him, while Major General Harris claims he felt threatened. However, it is essential to acknowledge that this explanation seems to contradict the body camera footage, which shows Major General Harris as the instigator of the altercation and does not display any physically aggressive behavior from Mr. Lambert. Sheriff Brian McLaughlin of the Columbiana County Sheriff's Office instructs Mr. Lambert to depart from the area. In response, Mr. Lambert clarifies that he is attempting to listen to the press briefing and carry out his job, emphasizing that his actions are protected by the First Amendment.
Let's talk outside. Come out the door. Come on. Out the doors. Out the doors.
By other media right here. I'm gonna listen.
I don't care. You're gonna walk out the door.
I'm gonna listen.
You're gonna walk
Do
out
not
the door.
touch me.
Come on out, sir. You're gonna walk out the door, or you're going to jail.
Do not touch me.
Sir, can we talk outside, please?
I am trying to
Can we talk
listen,
outside, please?
and he escalated with me. I am doing my job. This is covered by the First Amendment.
The First Amendment of the United States Constitution explicitly prohibits Congress from creating any laws that would restrict the freedom of the press. Courts have interpreted this clause to safeguard not only the press's right to publish news, but also their right to gather and acquire newsworthy information. In this particular case, the court made a definitive differentiation between the circumstances of that case and the current situation.
Oh, sir.
Sir, this is bad. Stop.
I am on the ground. What are you trying to do? The governor.
Stop resisting. Oh my God. Stop. Get this. I will. This is so bad.
Lay on your back. Lay flat, please.
You guys, he's a national correspondent. You cannot do this.
I'm a reporter with News Nation. It's all being recorded right now.
I hope it is.
This is
Excessive force.
horrible.
Because you can't talk to people about doing their jobs.
Oh my God, I cannot believe this.
This is what it's like to be a black reporter in
Evan, I'm so
2023.
sorry. Evan, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Sia.
Pull over, sir.
The court emphasized that the mayor did not withhold access to information that was commonly available to other media representatives or prevent the reporter from participating in press conferences. In this scenario, Mr. Lambert's reporting did not seem to cause any disruption, as Governor DeWine mentioned that he was unaware of the incident, only hearing about the disagreement that occurred after the troopers and Major General Harris approached Mr. Lambert.
You got to record all that. I did, sir. You want to shut off? No, you can keep recording. Okay. We just need to make sure that no one else comes in here that's not authorized.
This disrespect.
Hello.
We've been waiting for.
In his statement, Governor DeWine acknowledged that reporters possess the full right to report during press briefings. Mr. Lambert could assert a compelling argument that his First Amendment rights were infringed upon by being excluded from the press conference, considering that he was merely performing his job as a reporter.
It's the worst possible time in the world, okay? But there's nothing that we can do about that. He's committed to doing his live show. He's got people talking to him. He doesn't know whether he...
Upon Mr. Lambert's refusal to leave the press conference, East Palestine Detective Daniel Howder and Columbiana County Chief Deputy Jennifer Tucker notify him of his arrest. Subsequently, when he appears to make a slight attempt to move away from the officers, they take action and force him to the ground before handcuffing him.
Comes over and says, I don't want you here. Okay. He still refused to leave. So now he's arrested. I didn't witness anything. That's his own fault he's arrested. All he had to do was type on. I didn't. And he just kept on arguing. All I'm telling you is from the television standpoint of...
Later in the episode, the matter of whether the officers possess sufficient probable cause to arrest Mr. Lambert will be addressed. If a court were to determine that the arrest was legally justified, there exists the possibility that Mr. Lambert could face a conviction for resisting arrest, even if he were to be acquitted of the trespassing charge. Despite the charges against Mr. Lambert being dropped, no information has been provided regarding any disciplinary measures against the involved officers, including Major General Harris. It remains unclear whether Mr. Lambert or News Nation intends to pursue legal action against any of the parties involved. On the whole, the numerous officers involved receive criticism, as they are likely to have infringed upon Mr. Lambert's First Amendment rights by unjustly excluding him from a public press conference, arresting him for refusing to relinquish those rights, and employing unnecessary force during his arrest and initial disagreement with Major General Harris.